Have you ever been asked to do something that felt really hard? Maybe something that made you want to say, "But why?" Well, today's story is about a man who was asked to do something very, very hard, and he trusted God completely. His name was Abraham. Abraham loved God with all his heart. He had waited for many, many years for a son, and finally, God blessed him and Sarah with Isaac, their miracle baby. Abraham loved Isaac so much. He taught him to pray, to help others, and most importantly, to always trust God. But one day, something surprising happened. God spoke to Abraham and said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. There you must offer him as a sacrifice." Abraham's heart must have stopped for a moment. Offer Isaac, the son God had promised him? It didn't make sense. But Abraham didn't argue. He trusted that God always knows best. The very next morning, Abraham got up early, packed for the trip, and called Isaac. Together with 2 servants, they began their journey to the land of Moriah. For 3 long days, they walked under the hot sun. Abraham didn't complain, but his heart was heavy. Sometimes he looked at Isaac and smiled softly, maybe wondering how God's promise would still come true. When they finally saw the mountain in the distance, Abraham told the servants to wait. He placed the wood on Isaac's back and carried the fire and knife himself. "Father, we have the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" Isaac asked. Abraham replied, "My son, God will provide the sacrifice." Isaac trusted his father, and his father trusted God. When they reached the top, Abraham built a stone altar. Then he told Isaac what God had commanded. Isaac could have run away. He was young and strong. But instead, he trusted his father and obeyed because he too believed in God. Maybe Isaac closed his eyes and prayed quietly, asking God for courage. Abraham's hands trembled as he tied Isaac's hands and laid him on the altar. Then Abraham lifted the knife. Suddenly, a bright light shines and a voice echoes from heaven. "Abraham! Abraham, do not harm the boy. Now I know that you truly fear God because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." Then Abraham looked around, and there in the bushes, caught by its horns, was a ram. God had provided a sacrifice, just like Abraham had said. With tears of relief and joy, Abraham offered the ram instead of Isaac. From that day, Abraham named the place Jehovah-Jireh, which means Jehovah will provide. God was so pleased with Abraham's faith and obedience that he repeated his promise. "I will bless you, and your descendants will be as many as the stars in the sky. Through your family, all nations of the earth will be blessed." That's because God knew Abraham truly loved him and trusted him, even when he didn't understand the reason why. Abraham's story teaches us that faith means trusting God completely, even when it's hard. That's why God called Abraham his friend, and why we can learn to trust him just as much. Are there other lessons you learned? Kindly drop them in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, follow, or subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so you get to see new episodes as they get released.